Hey YouTubers, Palm Springs Cindy, and I'm coming to you from my vacation site. It's so nice here. As you guys know, I live in Indio, California, which is by Coachella, and it is so hot there. So luckily, I was invited to come to the beach for a while, and I'm thrilled. So, we're gonna have a coffee chat this morning. I have some things, just some fun things I want to share with you guys. But first I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee, my first sip of the day. Oh, so good. Well, okay, I woke up, I woke up in and out all night long. So I finally just said, get up. I did. But I want you to see, you guys see how frizzy my hair is? It's gonna get real frizzy. But that's just the way it is. And I'm trying to figure out summer hairdos that don't require hair pieces because of it being so hot. And since it's so early in the morning, you can tell by my voice that I'm not fully awake, and you can kind of see it in my face too. So that's good. We'll have our morning coffee together. Now, I put up a video yesterday, and I'm probably just going to put this one up. I'm probably going to put this one up today. I'm having the hardest time trying to find good lighting. And see, I just found a new spot. Now my camera turned over. Let's see if I can fix this. Let's see if I can fix it. Maybe I can. Okay, that will on a wing and a prayer right there. Facing a window, so the natural light is on me. Okay, let's see. Oh, so I uploaded that video last night about Eric and the fryer and the chicken legs and all that. So, so anyway, it was a fun video because it was snippets of a lot of different things. And I did get a lot of comments about that you guys liked that. It was kind of like, this was a fun video because it was a lot of different things to look at. And then I have, excuse me, I have, like when I walk around town here at Newport Beach, they have the cutest little boutique shops with really cute displays and merchandise. And so I've been taking pictures of those kinds of things and outdoor restaurants. So I'll be adding those on to a lot of my videos while I'm here in town vacationing. And the other day I went with a friend and he said, come here, I want to show you something. So we walked over to this window, big display window. We did not go in the shop, but we just looked through the window. And there were these, imagine like a giant, can't think. Well, okay, this is what it was. It was $500. And you unroll it, and it looks like a sponge about this thick. And it's like the size of a 5x10 carpet or bigger. And what you do is you buy it, you take it home, and you unroll it, and you put it on the water. Like you would put it on here, we would put it on the bay. If you were in a big pool, you could put it in the pool. And it's like a floating patio. You can get like 4 to 5 adults on that floating pad, and it's like a floor that just floats. And you can like go out in the water and have a cocktail, or go out in the water and have your lunch. And so I was fascinated. I was like, no way. And so, we just looked through the window, and I was looking at the tag and trying to see the picture of it floating with the people on it. I couldn't believe it. So I thought, well, if I was on that, like we'd have to bring paddles, because how would we get back to our landing? I don't know, but I was fascinated. Have you guys ever heard of that? Wow. I'm at the kitchen table looking out the window, and this window, it's a very nice window, and it looks out onto the alleyway. And the alley, they have a big alley, and then everybody's garages back up to the alley. So you open your garage and you park in your garage. And it's fun to be, the people that, where I am, these are not vacation houses. These are people-owned residences. So it's fun to see the comings and goings, people leaving for work and the kids riding their bikes home from school or whatever. So so as I'm filming this, I'm also looking out the window because there's lots of stuff to see. You can hear this plane. I think John Wayne Airport is near here because I did notice last night when I was watching TV on the couch, I'm not used to hearing planes, and so I'm very aware of like, ooh, how close is that plane? Hope it's not gonna land on me. So, alrighty, there are things I want to talk to you about. I think I've got 5 train wrecks I have to stop watching, and I'm going to discuss them with you. I'm curious to know if you guys are going to relate to any of this. I hope so. Fingers crossed. Okay, because it's been so hot in the desert, I've just stayed inside. And part of staying inside, I've done some organizing and some cleaning and stuff like that. But basically, I'm still watching a lot of television. And I don't like to watch real TV. I like to watch Netflix and YouTube and Prime Video. So I got hooked on these videos called Karens. Karens. Watch these, 20 minutes of crazy Karens or whatever. So I've been watching those. I mean to tell you, I cannot believe some of these crazy people that, park crazy and, that are just demanding and yell at people and stop people for no reason because they think they shouldn't live in those apartments. Karens that get mad at the convenience store and like throw all the food off the shelves. It's unbelievable. They're crazy people. And then the other part of the Karens are the Karens at the airport. Those are usually called airport crazy people. Airport, nervous people or people that flipped out at the airport. And, I can kind of relate because all of us, as we have traveled or flown and been in airports, if our flight gets canceled and we're already there at the airport, or if there's mechanical issues, and we have to get off the plane, speaking of planes, then, or if you've been flying and then you have a long layover, then you expect to get on your next connecting flight and for some reason you cannot. Well, those people are exhausted and I get it. And then they just flip out. They just go off on the office people or the people standing, the clerks behind the ticket counter. And I'm shocked at how patient the ticket and airport people are before they end up calling security. I'm like, oh, I would have been on that person and said, tased him and taken him off in a luggage cart. And like there was this one man that his shorts were so short that he was offending people as they were waiting to board their plane. So the counter lady went over and had to say, do you have anything else you can put on? And he was like, why, what's wrong? So finally, the lady said, well, I'll find you something here. Otherwise you can't board the plane. It's indecent exposure. And then there are, I guess this one, being a retired teacher, drove me crazy. I guess there was this soccer team. They were flying from one state to another for a soccer, like the big soccer reunion or the Super Bowl of of youth soccer. And so the parent, they had some parents, they had the coaches, and then they had the soccer. It was a boys, it was a boys soccer team, and they were like between 9 and 12. And so when they got off the plane to make a transfer to their second connection, the people got off the plane with these kids, and they said these kids were horrible. And they said that it wasn't one or two that said the kids were horrible. Everybody in the plane said something has to be done. These kids should not be allowed on a plane. They were running up and down the aisles. They were cussing at everybody, flipping people off. And like the people were saying, stop running, or, you stepped on my foot. And they were like, fuck you. Well, I shouldn't have said that. They were like saying the F word to these people. And then I'm like, where are their chaperones? Well, then the chaperones were like, what? They were fine. And I'm thinking, oh, no, they weren't fine. If they had that many complaints. Then the little buggers, they start cussing out the flight people, the clerks and the ticket people, and acting all big and attitudey. I wanted to reach in the television screen and strangle all of them. Okay, so those are like that airport thing. It's a train wreck, and I can't stop watching it. But the worst are the ones that are actually on the planes, and they're going crazy. Like maybe they're in the wrong seat, and someone says, oh, I think that's my seat. And they're like, they ignore them, or they're like, no, it's my seat now. Or there's like a crying baby, and the person next to them goes berserko and demands a different placement on the plane. Well, then now on the plane, they don't put up with anything. They just come over and they say, get your suitcase, you're off the plane. Well, then they don't want to get off. And then they say, I'm not getting up. And then they have to call police. But what they've learned to do, which is horrible, I think, but I get it. We used to do this in the classroom. They make everybody get off the plane. Get your suitcases, get your handbags, get off the plane. But the person that's causing the trouble stays on the plane. Then when everybody's off the plane, then they get the police in there and they drag that person off. So anyway, once again, it's a train wreck. I can't stop watching it. Then another one, I wrote them down. Another train wreck I can't stop watching is, okay, our dog rescues. Now, I will see like the thumbprint, and I see like this horribly sad dog, like crying and just pitiful. And so I'll click on that because I know that they're going to rescue that dog, and they do. And the dogs, son of a gun, if those dogs aren't the most forgiving, trusting animals, they get the dogs out. They coax them out with food and water, or sometimes they have to take like a big stick or something with a hook on the end of it and scoot them out. And then they put them in a crate and they take them to the vet, and then the vet, checks them, gives them penicillin, gives them an x-ray, bless these vets' hearts. Make sure, in other words, gets them ready for their bath. And then they give them a good bath and tick and flea removal. And if they're too mangy, then of course they're completely shaved down, and then they take their bath. But a lot of them, they'll keep their fur on them if it's okay, I guess. So they get these dogs and they feed them and they give them love. And the next thing you know, these dogs are walking and running and making friends. And I know how it's going to end, but I love watching the process. And I love, there's usually no talking, there's just captions. So, and I love these people that go around looking, or they respond to people that call them. See, that's who Kathy is. My Kathy that watches Poppy, she is a dog rescuer. And you can call Kathy any time of the night, and she will go out and get the dog and bring it back to her house. And in fact, she has Poppy for the month of August. I know, but I could not bring Poppy here. And Poppy knows Kathy. It's practically her second home. And remember, Rat lives with Poppy. Rat lives with Kathy and other dogs. She has a big yard, not that they're out in the heat, but they do go out, go potty. Kathy takes them out early in the morning, and then they come in. And she said she sends me videos and pictures of Poppy, and she said Poppy is being very good, and she's going to take Poppy to LA along with Rat and get both of them spayed. And I gave her money to do that, and so I'm thrilled that she's gonna get that done, because she has vet connections in LA that spay and neuter dogs. Okay, let's see what else. So I love watching those dog rescue shows. If I won the lottery, I would buy, I've already decided where. I would go up to Idlewild, and for those of you who live in this area, you know where Idlewild is. I would go to Idlewild and I'd buy like an acre or more if I could afford it, and I'd put a big cyclone fence around it, and I reach out for towels and blankets and dog bowls and all that dog stuff, and I would just rescue dogs and let them roam, because Idlewild is a mountain community, but it's fairly mild weather. The horses stay up there during the summer, and even during the winter. It does snow, not a lot, but it will snow. So get a motorhome or something, and then you could bring the dogs in, or build or put together a big shed that could be heated, and then maybe a concrete slab, and then the dogs could come in there. I just, these poor dogs that people just leave to die, or even worse, leave chained up, and there's no food or water near them or anything. Oh my God, don't get me started. Okay, what else? Okay, another thing that I love this is not a train wreck, any kind of a makeover. Now, sometimes, I don't know if you've noticed this, but sometimes they will take women and men off the street that are like homeless, and they will take them into their shop and give them a complete makeover. They cut their hair, they condition their hair, they color their hair, they give them full makeup, manicures, pedicures, you name it, they do it. They even put on new clothes for them. And it's really fun to watch these homeless people when they finally are revealed and they can see what they look like. And you can just see the glimmer in their eyes, like, this is how I used to look. This is me before I got in this circumstance. So anyway, I love watching those. Any kind of a makeover, like Christopher the makeover guy. I love his makeovers, but his makeover format has been changing, and I haven't watched it as much. Okay, you guys, the next thing that I want to share is something that this is not a train wreck. It is so pleasant. It is so wonderful. I love watching it. And I'm curious to know if you've noticed it. Okay, I know nothing about the European football, which we call soccer in America. But I've noticed that there are two awesome players. One, I think, has retired. I've got his written down, that Cristiano Ronaldo, or something, Cristian Ronaldo. And then there's that Messi. Well, it's the Ronaldo one that I'm watching, because I don't think he plays anymore. And he has, there's people walking by. I think they can hear me. I absolutely love him and his family. He is, he was poor. He lived in Portugal or someplace, please correct me. And his mother raised him and the rest of the kids by herself. And anyway, between hard work on his part and a lot of sacrificing on the mother and the rest of the family's part, he ends up being this superstar football player. Well, now that he's rich as can be, he bought his coach an island, and he's bought 4 hotels or had them built. And well, anyway, and he's got like 4 kids or something. And he has a steady girlfriend that's like the baby's mama kind of a thing. And she's darling. Well, anyway, this is what I love about him. He just kisses his kids in the morning, like when they wake up. He's usually the first one to wake up. And then the little boys come out, and he's got twins. And then the twins come out, and they're all sleepy-eyed. He just picks them up and gives them big kisses. And he hugs and kisses his mom. And he's just such a great guy. And I've seen him interviewed a few times, and he talks about, you can't be like, in other words, you have to have your family behind you. Family is valuable. And they said something like, well, why does your mom live with you? And he said, my mother will always live with me. She sacrificed so much for me as a child, and I will always take care of her. She will always have the best of everything. And I love that. So, and he's like spends his money, and he spends it on his kids. And they every day they're like doing something totally fun. So anyway, like they go skiing, and they go to the amusement parks, and they just do everything fun. And I guess his oldest son, Ronaldo's mother, said that the oldest son is a better soccer player, or is better at his age than Ronaldo was at his age. And Ronaldo was coaching his son. So anyway, I thought that was even cute. Anyway, that's okay. So I love that. That's not a train wreck. That was not a train wreck. It's a happy. So I've got to stop watching the train wrecks, you guys. What am I going to do? Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn them off. The problem is they come up so fast that you can't really avoid them. It's like, what's going on there? Okay. I'm about finished with my coffee. And now the signal is I go downstairs and have another cup of coffee with my hosts. And then we have a chit chat about what's going on and what we have planned for the day. We have some other people joining us today, so that's going to be fun. I guess that's it for now. P.S. I love you. Mwah. Until our next conversation.